Let me start by saying I greet all of you and I bring you all glad tidings. My people, my name is Ben, aka Benny H. Davis. My people, we always come here to talk about how leaders have failed us in Africa and especially in Nigeria. Because we know, everyone knows that Nigeria, they told us that is the giant of Africa. And we know, looking at the potentials of Nigeria as a country, if Nigeria wakes up, Africa will wake up. According to Professor Mulumba of Kenya, he did say that Nigeria is the heartbeat of Africa. And if the heart is beating, then the continent will be beating. But now that the heart is not beating, the continent of Africa is not beating as well. So Nigeria is very important to Africa. The entire world looks up to Nigeria to be able to put Africa where Africa belongs. But the very country called Nigeria that the entire world looks up to has failed not just the Nigerian people, but has failed even the African people. So I want to tag this conversation as Nigeria is bleeding. Nigeria is what? Bleeding. And our leaders have failed us. That is the truth of the matter. Nigeria is bleeding and our leaders have what? Failed us. Nigeria is living through one of the darkest periods of insecurity in our history. And let's say it as it is. This is no time to call a spade a spade. We have to call it by its name, which is a spade. Nigeria is facing one of the darkest times in our history as a country. This crisis didn't start today. This crisis of insecurity in Nigeria has been ongoing, not with this administration even, subsequent administrations. But what have they all done? They've handled the matter with soft gloves. That is why the insecurity in Nigeria has kept on going. And as it stands today, it appears it has overwhelmed the country and the country's security apparatus. Like I said, this crisis didn't just start today, and it didn't start yesterday either. It started many, many years ago. It is the direct result of years of failure by past and present leadership in Nigeria. Leaders in Nigeria, political leader class, have failed the people of Nigeria. And in extension, they have failed the African people. Nigeria has now become a country in fear. A country in what? In fear. A country where our citizenry lives, sleeps, and wakes up in fear. That is the reality of Nigeria today. I overheard a lady on the social media space saying that these days she doesn't even like to go out of her house because she's scared of her life. Today, millions of Nigerians live with fear. That is the reality on ground. Millions of Nigerians are what? Living in what? In fear. That should never, in a normal situation, exist in a nation with amazing resources. Fear of stepping out of their homes. Nigerians are not scared to go out of their homes because they don't know what is going to happen to them when they do go out. Fear of bandits on the highways. Nigerians don't like to travel on roads again because of fear of bandits on the highway. So many Nigerians, those who have the resources, fly the aeroplane. The question is, those who don't have the resources to fly the plane, what happens to them? My dear good people of Nigeria, these are no interesting times in Nigeria at all. And so the fear of terrorists in the north is what has caused this fear. That Nigerians do not want to go on roads again. You see Nigerians now spending their last kobo just to ensure they are able to get their airplane ticket because the roads are no longer safe because of fear of what? kidnappers everywhere. The fear of mobs are not also left out. Ethnic clashes everywhere in Nigeria. Fear that government seems powerless and unwilling to what? Act. The fear of power of government in Nigeria, that they are powerless, that is the perception of the people now. The people of Nigeria now believe that their government is powerless. They don't have the ability to curb this insecurity. Or rather, they don't have the ability to nip this security and then put a stop to it. Kidnapping has now become a national industry in Nigeria. Kidnapping in Nigeria has now become a massive business. Kidnappers has become trillionaires, not millionaires anymore. Kidnappers in Nigeria, they are now trillionaires.
Yeah. Like my own opinion now, man.
Yes,
is that you see this Nigeria that we are around.
Yeah. Let me continue with my talk. Sister Queen, no, I'll talk to you later. Hello, Sister Queen, that's your way. I'll call you later. Sister Queen, I'll call you later. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so
as you were saying,
yes,
I was discussing the thing. They said that even though Donald Trump come to Nigeria to come and rescue Nigeria, whether Donald Trump is he going to stay in Nigeria permanent, that this will still happen in Nigeria. Man, what is going on in Nigeria now is terrible. Like last 2 weeks, my friend, they kidnapped my friend daughter. They told my friend Percy that he don't even have money to eat food. They told him to pay 15 million. Where is he going to get it from? Where is he going to get it from?
My brother,
me precisely now, we are trying to.
My brother, you see what's happening in Nigeria today.
To send out to Nigeria because this thing is getting hard.
It is, brother. You see, brother, you see, brother. Can I speak, sir? Have you heard about when they say a country, a failed state? When they say a country has failed, go and check some of the indices to qualify a failed state. Nigeria has since fallen into that indices. Nigeria has since fallen into that name called a failed state. Nigeria is a failed state. A state where the government can no longer protect lives and properties. That is a failed state. Let me continue so I don't lose my thought, my brother. Kidnapping in Nigeria has become a normal business. Ransom payments now runs into trillions. Families are selling their lands, their properties, houses, all to save lives. Sometimes they sell out those properties, sell their lands, their properties, and end up even having recovered the bodies that have been killed by these people, even though they have paid the ransom to them. And at the end of the day, the families are left with no option than to grieve and begin to cry. And the government seems, in my opinion, helpless. So, banditry and terrorism is alive in Nigeria today. The failure of the Nigerian government is very, very clear. It's open and is clear to the blind and is audible, as they say, to the deaf, that the government has failed to curb insecurity in Nigeria. This did not even start with Tinubu, even though I don't like Tinubu. The reason I don't like Tinubu is how he got into that office. Not that I don't like him as a person, but the way he got into that office is what I disapprove. This banditry thing started from Jonathan, then it now moves to Buhari. And the current government is also having its own tone. And this has been as a result of with political will to tackle insecurity head on in Nigeria. Another issue, another reason why we are falling apart is poor intelligence. The intelligence community in Nigeria is poor. They are not on top of their game. That is why you see a situation where a brigadier general will relate to the Nigerian military that he is hiding in a particular place, and somehow the bandits gets to know that his location, and they went there and acquired him. The question many people are asking in Nigeria today is, How did the bandits get to know his location? I can assure you, until that kingdom come, that information will not be privy to Nigerians. Nigerians will not know what happened to that Brigadier General Uba that told him and called the Nigerian military and told them where he was hiding. And all of a sudden, the terrorists got to know where he was hiding and then went there and then buried him. The question is, how did they get to know? Another issue that is befalling us as a people is the issue of corruption inside the security apparatus of Nigeria. The security agencies in Nigeria are corrupt. All of them. The police is worse off. And that's why you see compromising cases left, right, and center, where terrorists are now being given information, first-hand information about where and what to do. That is why the fight against insecurity in Nigeria has remained even worse. So, empty promises also is another issue, that the government has made promises over time that they were going to curb insecurity, they were going to do X, Y, Z, but you all will agree with me that as we speak today, nothing seems to have happened. If for anything, it's gotten worse. So every administration has inherited some level of insecurity. But instead of solving it, they allowed it to mutate and even multiply. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. Instead of the Nigerian government, subsequent, the one before Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and even the current one under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, instead of them to find a lasting solution, they actually allowed the thing to mutate and even multiply. Excuse me, sorry guys, I have a bit of flu, So the truth remains that Nigeria's insecurity crisis is not just the result of criminals alone. It is the result of government's failure. Government has failed the Nigerian people. So the problem is not just with the security alone. The government is... I sincerely apologize, my people. I have a bit of flu, I'm sorry. So the insecurity problem in Nigeria is not just about the criminals alone. It is as a result of government's failure. When the government fails to secure borders, when government fails to equip police, hold corrupt officials accountable, provide jobs for restless youths, manage land conflicts, reform the military, use intelligence, not propaganda. When government don't do any of this, they are only creating more room for the terrorists to begin to continue to do what they know how to do best. And so, no thanks to whether the current or past government in Nigeria. The human cost so far, if you ask me, is huge. The human cost to all this madness that has been going on in Nigeria is what? Is huge. Behind every statistics is Nigerian life. And children who can't go to school, they are also victims of this whole matter. Farmers, as we speak today in Nigeria, they'll be driven from their farm lands. Families paying ransom after ransom without no ending, no results to it. Communities, in some cases, have been wiped out. There are some communities in some part of the north that the terrorists have taken over. They've actually had their flags, which means some part of Nigerian territory is being taken over by these terrorists. And we say we have a government. We don't have a government. Trauma that will last generations to come is what these people have come to inflict on our people. And the Nigerian leaders and leadership in Nigeria seems to have no solutions to it. Our leaders talk about statistics, but Nigerians are counting what? Graves. The Nigerian leaders, all they talk about is statistics. But the Nigerian people, all they are doing is what? Counting the number of graves that they have, based on the number of people that have been killed by this terrorist group in Nigeria. And so for me, the political class must remain united. Because the political class is not united, some of these things will continue to happen in Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, the box stops at the desk of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is currently the president of Nigeria. He is in charge of security. Part of his responsibility as president is to ensure the welfare and well-being and safety of lives and property of the Nigerian people. And so government must begin to wake up to our responsibilities.
I just want to shift one thing. I want to shift one thing in before I forget. Now, we are talking about President Ahmed Tinubu. Okay, what the key one general for Nigeria, which is for Abuja. What Ahmed Tinubu said, if he said anything, he don't even go there to go and see the family of the person. So, in short, for Nigeria as concerned, I don't think we don't have evil president in Nigeria. I'm still saying it. Even the same thing that my brother said, very dark man. He said that. He said no. He said all those Fulani people, the third government that the people that they kidnap, federal government nowhere to see them, nowhere to go and pick the people out. You understand? As a kidnapper, they even have him out more than the president of the nation. It doesn't make any sense to Nigeria.
You are right, my brother. You made a valid point. You made a very valid point. That is why I've always said people, we all must continue to speak up. This is no time for anybody to sit on the fence. This is not the time to say it's not your business. It is your business. It is our business.
Yes, the problem we are having in Nigeria, is that when something happened, the person will say, it's not my family member. I don't even know him. That is the problem we are facing in this country. It's not a matter of Nigeria is not good. Nigeria is good. Apart from China, they are thief our gold and the rest. They are still using us for where the gold is as a slaves. And when they give us more money, we'll be happy jumping up. But
all that is part of the failure. All that are failures on the part of government. The only reason why China will come and exploit us in our own land is because we don't have a responsible government. Because the government has failed. Can the same China go and do that in America? Can the same China go and do that in Germany? Can the same China go and do that in France? Can the same China go and do that in the UK? The answer is the capital no. So the reason why China is able to come to our land and exploit us is because we have a government that is irresponsible. We have a government that is out of touch with the people. We have a government that doesn't have empathy. We have a government that doesn't know what governance is all about. We have a government that ordinarily have no business being in government. That's the kind of people we have. That is why these people come and exploit us, because they know that we have weak government. If they know that we have a government that is proactive, if they know we have a government that is active, a government that knows our bearings, my brothers, they won't come and do this shit with us. Believe me.
Of today.
Excuse me.
Of today.
So, my message to the government, past and present, is that they have failed us. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I didn't want to drink. I'm sorry, God. My message to both the past and present government in Nigeria is that they have what? They have failed us. All of them. They have failed us.
Like sometimes now, I used to think about Obasanjo. How which Obasanjo is still our president. I believe that all those nonsense things will not happen. Because Obasanjo is a man that he don't even tolerate nonsense for anybody.
Okay,
go to Benue now. Every day they are killing people in Benue. Every precious day in Benue. The same thing with Jos. And their governor over there, he said that nothing is happening. Everywhere is good. And people are there is dead.
Because they put politics before the lives of the people. That's why you see a whole governor denying that his people are not being quiet, because they put politics. They put politics above the lives of the people. So, like I said, my brother, the message to our past and present leaders is that they have failed us. You failed to protect us. You failed to secure our towns and highways and our farms and our schools. You failed to treat insecurity as a priority not a campaign slogan. Because what they have been doing, they fail to treat insecurity as a serious business, and instead they are treating it as a campaign slogan. So every blood that has been lost in that country as a result of insecurity, the blood, if you ask me, is on the head of these leaders, both the present and the past leaders. And so my message to the Nigerian people is very clear. Nigerians deserve better. We deserve a nation where safety is not a luxury. Anywhere in the world, safety is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And that necessity comes with the government. So it's not supposed to be a big man thing for you to have to live in a safe environment. Government is supposed to provide safety for the people of the country. But in the case of Nigeria, that has not happened. So where children can dream, where communities can grow, where life is valued. When government provides security, children can grow, community can move on, and life is valued. The era of silence for me is over. That's why this message is really to Nigerian people. The era to everybody to shut your mouth, say it's not your business, it doesn't concern me. It concerns you. When it gets to your turn or somebody close to you, then you will know, say the matter, it concerns you. So, my dear good people of Nigeria, we have to move on. We have to move on by putting pressure, consistent pressure on this government to do just one thing, the needful. This, because they are fighting over 2027 elections. The people must be living first before you can have people to vote for you. When the people are no more, when they allow these S-men, these terrorists to buy all Nigerians, who will not vote for them in 2027? These are fundamental questions they should be asking themselves. When you don't do anything and you allow these terrorists continue to buy your people, so when 2027 comes, are you going to vote yourself in? Let us wait and see what's going to happen.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, sir.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Go ahead.
You see this government, this Nigeria government, which is this leader that we have today in Nigeria, it's just like you said the truth, they will kill you immediately. You come out and say the truth, they will kill you immediately. You understand?
Yeah.
Nothing will happen for that.
Yeah, but please use the word by. Don't use the word by. Kill them. You just use the word by because of social media issues. Just use the word by. Please don't use the word kill them.
You understand?
Yes.
If you say the truth in Nigeria, they will buy the person ASAP. They will not even waste time. Even as me and you we are talking, I need to be looking at my back and my front. You understand? That is the country we have in Nigeria.
You see, let me tell you one thing, brother. In Nigeria, we talk too much without action. We talk too much without action. The situation we have in Nigeria today was supposed to do less of talking, more of action. What is the action? Let us, you see, these people that have brought Nigeria to where Nigeria is today, there are not more than 2,000 people, all of them. Do you know how many people have the population of Nigeria today? By statistics, I know that statistic is not verifiable, but we're told it's over 200 million people. So imagine maybe just call it even 5,000 people over against 200 million people. You know